Hello everyone and welcome to your next session of your business administration course with Plato training, where today we're going to be taking a look at planning an enterprise activity part 1. So by the end of the session you should be able to you should have chosen 4 profitable business ideas. You should have evaluated 2 business ideas and you will be choosing one of those business ideas to move forward with. So what is an enterprise activity? So this unit that we're doing is called Planning an Enterprise Activity. During this unit, you'll be looking at a business idea. You're going to be creating a business idea, and this is what the unit covers. So today, you're going to begin by planning your business ideas, and you're going to narrow it down to one idea, which you will explore further on Tuesday of next week. So, business ideas, what could you sell? So, this unit really needs to reflect you. So, we've left it open. We're not giving tons and tons of guidance of what your business is going to be, because this instead needs to be a reflection of you. Perhaps some of you have already got some ideas for a business that you'd like to go with. However, I can make some suggestions by looking at COVID-19. So, what could help people during this time? Of course, you don't have to focus on COVID-19 and what could help people during this time, because it's your enterprise and it's your idea and it's your business plan. But let's just take a look at what could help people during a global pandemic. So people need support in the global pandemic. They need entertainment. So some sort of service where they could be entertained. Protective equipment is needed. Things like gloves, aprons, masks, hand sanitizer. Homeschooling helps. So although children have now gone back to school, there is still a need for homeschooling help because many children are having to self-isolate from their bubbles and classes and year groups, etc. People might need support with connecting with others. Perhaps if they are unable to leave the house very often, if they've been isolating themselves, if they've been shielding. And also perhaps support to make friendships or relationships if that's what the person is looking for. Like I said, these are just some ideas. You don't have to choose any of those if you don't wish to, but I would like you to find something that reflects an interest of yours. So just to share some more inspiration with you, so I've been delivering this unit for over 2 years now, and I just want to share some prior ideas to give you some more ideas if you're unsure. So a few of these are from the classroom environment, and a few of these are from the online learning environment. So a bit of a mix, really. So we had somebody created a ballet school. So her daughter was going to ballet school, and she was very inspired by the way the ballet school was run, and she could see that it cost a lot of money to send her daughter to ballet, so she thought perhaps that's something she could look into doing herself. And of course she had to look at things like room hire, teaching staff, things like that. So, how many children can be in the class safely, with how many members of staff in the class, etc. Somebody made a idea to have a food truck, so he quite liked going to events where there were food trucks available to purchase from. So things like he was looking at selling things like samosas and bhajis, so he was having to cater in the cost of his truck or trailer that he would be making the food in, the equipment that he would need to fit out, the certificates that he would need to successfully run a clean and hygienic business, and of course things like plates and cutlery, etc. And pitching fees for wherever he was hoping to sell the food. Online gaming, so this is one that's been quite popular during the pandemic because it's a service that you could provide. So if you're quite into gaming, you probably have more knowledge on that than me. However, I do know that there's obviously the platform called Steam where you can upload and download games on there, so perhaps that's something that you're interested in. Again, you'd have to factor in how much you're going to charge for your service and how much it would cost to develop a game. Wellbeing boxes are always quite a common one, both in the classroom and in virtual classrooms online. Uh, Up to you what you would tailor your products to. How could you make it niche in the market? Um, things like pamper boxes and birthday boxes, and again, looking at the costings of how much it would cost to post them, how much the boxes themselves would cost, how much the items inside the box would cost, etc. And obviously storage costs for keeping the items somewhere safe and dry. I had a group in the classroom who created a health and social care business. So they were interested in working in health and social care, and they decided to look at selling equipment, things like crutches and wheelchairs and things like that. What they found that was most difficult was the cost of storage. Hair extensions. So I had a lady previously who used to be a hairdresser, and she saw the amount of money that was being made out of hair extensions, but also the exploitation of poor hair extensions and women in Far East countries not being treated fairly for the amount of hair that they were giving up. So she wanted to think about ethical hair extensions. And just recently, actually, I had a chap who created a drive-in cinema, obviously suitable to COVID. So for your ideas, you need to think of 4 business ideas. Now, the one piece of criteria that you must hit is that it cannot be charity based because it has to be profitable. So you have to make money. It has to be a profitable business. If you're after making money for a charity, this is not the right unit to be exploring that idea. So I want you to try and think of ideas that you have and something that you've got an interest or prior knowledge in. It's going to make it much easier for you to have a brainstorm or thought shower for the next steps of your business. So really have a think, what am I interested in? So for question 1, I would like you to think of 4 ideas of what products you could sell or services you could offer for a profit, okay? So fill your ideas in the space below to brainstorm those ideas to begin with. I've put a couple of examples on here, and these are going to be my worked through examples throughout the rest of this unit. So I've put on here, first example is a service. So I want to create a home cookery service, streaming service over video link to the internet. And the next one is a product. So I want to create masks for small children to wear for safety. During the COVID-19 breakout, I would sell them over the internet. Remember, it has to be a profitable business. It cannot be charity based. If you're thinking about something where you're going to need funding from a charity, it's not the right unit for you to be looking at that because it's going far too complex. Keep it simple. Next, you need to evaluate your ideas. So from the 4 ideas that you wrote down in question 1, I would like you to think about 2 of those ideas, and I would like you to evaluate them. So for each of your 2 ideas that you're evaluating, you need to think about the resources that you'll need to either create the product or run the service. You need to think about your pricing. You need to think realistically, is this something that people would buy? If it is, how many would they want? How long would they subscribe to your service for if it's a service you've chosen? And how could you advertise or market this product or service? So let's have a look at those in a little more detail. So when we're thinking about listing resources to create the product or run the service, I would like you to think about what equipment you will need to begin your business. So this is before you've done anything else. What equipment do you need? So if you're setting up a cookery service, you need pots, you need pans, you need gas, you need electric, you need an oven, you need safety equipment like oven gloves and aprons. the list goes on. You need so much stuff before you can even produce a product. What equipment will you need to continue running your business? So perhaps you need staff. Perhaps you need, if you're producing a product and you're selling it on the internet, you'll need to sell it and post it. So you're going to need packaging. You'll still need gas and electric, for warmth and light. And obviously you'll still need to buy, like if we go with the masks that I said earlier, you'd still need to buy more fabric and more elastic and more envelopes to post them in, and advertising on the internet and things. So will you need to hire a space or buy a place to run the business? So like I've just said about the cookery, you could do that from your own kitchen, or you could hire a space where you are hiring another kitchen in a commercial building where there's proper equipment already in place. Is it going to be cheaper to hire a kitchen where you can use their resources, or is it going to be cheaper to buy all the equipment first? Will you need staff members? So that's what I'd like you to think about for listing your resources to create the product or service. How much money could you charge? So I've broken this down into two, so into products and into services. So with products, this is a physical thing that you can hold. So how much money will you charge for each item? So I'm going to go back to the masks again. So how much money can I charge for each mask that I make for children? So let's say I'll charge £5 a mask. Will I do offers to allow people to get a discount for buying in bulk? So I could do £5 per mask, or three masks for £12, for example. The service, so the service that I've said about is a cookery school. So how much would I charge for a subscription service for my cookery school? Maybe I'll do £10 a month. Will I do discounts if people subscribe monthly or quarterly or yearly? Yes, so I could do a one-off video for £3 per video. I could do £5 or £10 a month for the whole month. I could do a yearly subscription of £45, for example. Would people buy the product or service? If yes, how many would they want, and how long would they subscribe for? So again, it depends if it's a product or a service. So first and foremost, you need to ask yourself that question: would somebody buy or use the product or service that you are thinking about creating? If it's a no, then that business is not profitable, so you can't use it for this unit. It should be a yes. How many products would each customer wish to buy? Is it a one-time purchase? Would they need more than one? So for example, if you're looking at selling, I don't know, hoovers, generally speaking, we all have one hoover. We don't buy multiple. We don't buy 3 or 4. Well, I certainly don't. I don't know anybody who does. However, if we go back to the masks again, then people are buying more than one mask because obviously they're getting put in the wash after each use. If it's a service, how long would people wish to subscribe for? What would keep them wanting to pay for your service? So with my cookery service, I'd like to think that I could entice people in to watch my cookery show by maybe telling them what is coming up next so that they want to see it. Maybe I could take requests from my watchers and users of the service so that they are still going to be keen to see their recipe. How could you advertise your product or service? So who are you aiming the business at? When we've looked at social media, you saw that there are different ages and genders, etc., who use different types of social media. So for example, when we looked at Snapchat, we saw it's mostly 13-year-olds who are on there. So if you're looking at selling, let's go back to hoovers again, are 13-year-olds going to buy a hoover? It's highly unlikely. What types of advertising would work for your customer's age or gender? So we looked at Pinterest, where 80% of Pinterest users are women. So perhaps if you're looking at a product that is aimed towards the female demographic, then perhaps Pinterest is the way to go. How would you make your advertisements attractive and eye-catching? So here you need to think about a colour scheme. You need to think about a logo. You need to think about different fonts that work really well in marketing and advertising. If it's not readable, it's not going to work. So what I would like you to do is answer question 2. So for idea 1, you're going to answer those 4 questions, and then you're going to go on to idea 2 as well. If you have a look at question 3, it's the same question, but I've accidentally written it as idea 1 again, so just cross out the 1 and put a 2. Please pause this video here whilst you complete the question. So choosing your final idea. So you now need to settle on a business idea that you're going to continue working on next week on Tuesday. That business idea is then going to flow into Wednesday's work as well. So it's really important that you do choose one that you are happy to work with next week. So I would like you to choose your final idea by saying which you will choose and why. I would like you to tell me what you're going to name the product or service. And I would like you to think of a slogan for your business. So if you're not sure what a slogan is, I've put some examples here below. So some slogans are "The best a man can get" from Gillette, "Every little helps" from Tesco, "You can do it when you B&Q it." Of course it's B&Q. "Just do it" is Nike, and "I'm loving it" is from McDonald's. I almost burst out into song for you there. I'll let you sing that one. So I would now like you to narrow down your ideas from questions 2 and 3. So if you can answer parts A, B and C for question 4, that will be your final piece of work for today. So for your learning activity today, slightly different, so you're going to have today's date. Your aim is work skills. The activities and what I have learned, so we've looked at planning an enterprise activity, part 1, and today you have learned. Your next session is planning an enterprise activity, part 2, and the next session's date is on Tuesday. You should now have met your aims and objectives of choosing 4 profitable business ideas, evaluated 2 of those and chosen 1 to move forward with next week.